Joining me live in the Perth studio is Matt Moran, an Afghanistan veteran and former senior advisor to the Minister for Defence. Matt, appreciate your time. You're in quite a unique position. I think you spent about 8 months in Afghanistan as an army officer. You went back as a TV reporter following the former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd as well. So you've seen how this story has developed over many years. First of all, what is your reaction to the scenes we've seen unfolding in Afghanistan?
Heartbreaking is the phrase, I think, and that's been a common reaction from veterans that I've spoken to. And they're worried about the people they work with in Afghanistan. They're worried about their interpreters. They're worried about women and children that they, tried to improve education standards. So I think there is a general just concern about what the future holds for Afghanistan.
And are veterans questioning, was it worth it?
I think they're focusing on the things that were achieved. Working out, we went in there to do a job. We did it with honour, and it was a privilege to wear our uniform, and we did our best. And we served the government of the day. We don't make the rules, and our job is to obey orders. And I think the soldiers did the best they can. There's been a lot of talk on social media about concern for interpreters and ensuring that everything is done to try and get as many people out of Afghanistan, I think is really important. But focusing on the good things that were achieved. Some of the stats, if you look at the child mortality rate for children under 5 dropped by 50%, since the war started in 2001. Life expectancy increased from 56 to 65. So those are some of the stats we need to be focusing on.
And we all hope those stats don't go backwards with the Taliban.
Yeah, we just heard the Prime Minister talk then saying it's way too early to trust what they have to say. They have said that there won't be retribution, but we don't know that yet. We've seen the Taliban spokespeople talking about the need to form a government and work effectively and have women as part of that government. But it's obviously way too early to actually work out, can we work with these people? It's been a 20-year fight, and I know a lot of veterans right now are questioning their involvement, but are proud of what they did.
We've learned that 26 people have been airlifted by the Australian Air Force overnight. It's not probably as big a number as we would like. We want to understand the logistics and the problems of people getting to Kabul airport at the moment. The Prime Minister in that news conference a short time ago also said that 3,000 spots from our current humanitarian intake will be dedicated to Afghans trying to flee the country. There have been calls for an extra intake on top of that. What's your view? Should the government be doing more on this? And again, you have a pretty unique perspective on this because I know you've worked inside a Prime Minister's office. You know how this all unfolds.
Yeah, these are complex questions and there are no easy answers in Afghanistan. I think we've all learnt that over many, many years, and many governments have tried to figure out how to deal with the situation. But I think there is, especially from an Afghanistan veterans perspective, we need to be trying to welcome as many people as we can and look after as many people as we can. I think they were talking about 3,000, but then, like Tom Connell was just saying, that when the Syrian crisis was happening, there was more than 10,000 that were accepted. So I think these are complex issues that are very hard to answer without all the details.
And tell us about these people that we're trying to get back to Australia now. Who are they? What sort of jobs did they do for us? Give us a bit of an insight into who they are.
Well, they're brave people. My job was a public affairs officer. I didn't go out, patrolling every day. We had brave infantry soldiers doing that. The interpreters went out every day alongside our soldiers to try and work with local tribal leaders to, understand what their needs were. We had engineers working alongside Afghan National Army soldiers trying to, build structures. We had more. We had a lot of Afghanistan people that we would, work with, or that would be trading with us and things like that. So I think they are a very, very resilient people, given their background. And I think we did our best for 20 years to try and improve their lives. I think a lot of veterans right now are finding it tough to deal with, but ultimately we need to be thinking about the Afghans themselves and how we can help them the best we can. So, veterans need to talk to each other. There's, open arms and the RSL and things like that, that if you have issues that you need to go and talk to, just talk about how you're feeling. But I think the overriding feeling from what I have seen online is they are proud of what they've done. They did their duty. They did what their government asked them to do, and they would do it again in many cases. But right now, the overriding concern is for the welfare of Afghans and trying to ensure that they are looked after, because, the US spent about $1 trillion on this, and 20 years later, I still think that we have achieved a lot in those 20 years. The scenes that we're seeing are very sad, and I just hope that the situation can improve and the Australian government can get more people out of Afghanistan.
And Australians are very proud of that service as well. Matt Moran, appreciate you joining us.
No worries, thank you.